All right, what's going on, everybody? Before we get to the video, I just want to tell you guys real quick again, if you are not part of my heavy metal group on Facebook, go join the group. I'll put a link in the description. There's not too many people in there right now, maybe 10 or 15 people, but let's grow it. I'm making this group for all of us YouTubers that we can just kind of go on there, post all of our stuff. We need to get some fans in there, grow this group, and we kind of have live chats at night. You know, YouTube can kind of be a pain in the butt to constantly post comments and stuff. But you can post anything you want in this group. There's no approval as long as it's appropriate. Just go join the group, post your own stuff in there, post songs you like, whatever you want. I'll put a link in the description. Check it out. There's no catch. It's just for fun. If you don't like it, you can leave the group. Now, let's get on with this video. I've been wanting to make this series for a while. I wanted to really get to a point where I was fairly experienced at this before I make these tutorials. This is going to be part one, recording and mixing with Reaper, heavy metal for beginners. And so we're just going to jump right into this. I'm going to show you as we go step by step um, and this is going to be very basic stuff. And we're not going to get too crazy into this. We're going to just keep it basic so your stuff sounds amazing. The first thing you need to do here is I'm going to show you a picture of my studio here. This is my recording studio, and this is all I have. I have an iMac. I have some Kali LP6 studio monitors, which you need some good studio monitors. These are a major priority. I used the cheap PreSonus Aris ones before. Do not use those. Those are crap. These are kind of expensive. You're gonna shell out about $300 for the pair. But this is the best bang for the buck you can get, trust me. Also, you're going to need an audio interface. I use a Scarlett Solo 3rd generation, which sounds amazing. I've had zero issues. You can also go on Amazon and get a Behringer audio interface for half the price because the Scarlett Solo's around $110. The Behringer's around 50. So if you don't want to spend too much, I've never used the Behringer, but I've heard good things about it. Also, get yourself some headphones. The headphones that I am actually using right now for this video and that are on my desk, these are not recording studio headphones. They're really, really good sounding ones I bought from Best Buy. And I actually like them because I can hear the flatness from the monitors and then put on my headphones and kind of see what it'll sound like with like with EQ'd headphones, like when you're jamming music in your car or your living room, because the studio monitors will give you more of a flat sound. An EQ'd headphone is going to kind of show you what it's going to sound like in different stereo systems. But anyway, this is my recording studio, and everything I'm going to show you guys, we're not going to be using real drums. We're not going to be miking up real amps. We're going to be recording everything on the Reaper using plugins. We will be using real guitars, but not a real drum set. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull up Reaper, and it's going to be bare and empty just like this. I have one track pulled up, and that's so you guys can hear me talking. Now, if you're just starting this, you're going to want to add track by track. You just double click, and you can use all these tracks for whatever you want: drums, bass, guitar. Does not matter. Certain tracks do not have something like GarageBand. You have to add a certain type of track to have a certain instrument. You don't have to do that. Any track on here you can do anything with. But I'm gonna pull up my template instead. Okay, guys, here is my master template that I use for most of my songs. I do change this periodically. And what a template is basically when you're done with a song, you kind of erase your whole song, and you can just save this as a template. Everything that you use, your drums, your bass, your guitars, you can save all your settings and just pull it up for a brand new song. It's really cool and saves you a lot of time. On the master track over here, I am using a reverb from Audio Salt, which is turned off because if it's on, then you can hear all of this. And I just add that for a little ambiance on the whole track, just a tiny bit of reverb. So the first track that I ever start doing anything with will be the drums. So basically, before you do anything here, you need to have basically written your song on guitar. or bass or whatever type of song you're doing. For me, I'll sit here for weeks and jam coming up with a song. Once I have most of the song done on guitar, I come into here and start kind of putting things together. To add a plugin, whether it's an amp, sim, or drums, you just click on one of these little squares in your track and it will pull up your plugins list. And you can add whatever you want. EQs, that verb on your master track, you can put in plugins. All you have to do is click on these boxes right here. So the drums I'm using is Perfect Drums. This is $100 plugin, but it freaking sounds amazing. You have so many different drum heads for the snare, the toms, the cymbals, everything. You've got a really nice mixer. You have a sampler, which you can import your own samples, which I've never done, but this is a super nice, probably the best sounding drum sim that I've used. If you guys cannot afford $100, you do have the MT Power Drum Kit 2, which is free and freaking loud as hell. Excuse me. Let me turn down that master here. As you can hear, it's not the best sounding one, but it's free. And if you're just starting out and you want to mess around and learn how to start doing this, you've got your basic kit, you got your mixer, you can pan left and right, you got individual volume and compressor. So it's not a bad starter kit. I actually did use this for a while because it was free. And then when I got sick of it and wanted something to sound better, I got the Perfect Drums. To get rid of a plugin, just right click and go down to delete effects. So my signal chain on the drums is just the drum plugin and then a little bit of an EQ on here. For the bass guitar, I am starting off with a free overdrive pedal from Mercurial, Audio Assault's Duality EX bass amp sim with a little compressor. This is a free compressor from Tokyo Dawn Labs. And on the guitars, I'm using Auto 11 amp sim with impulse responses from them. And we'll go over all of this later on as we go along. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of show you guys. I've had a couple people ask me how to program these drum sims. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, you kind of need to know how to play drums to do this. It's not mandatory, but it really helps a lot. So you have your drum sim. Well, how do you do the drums? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to the top and do Insert, New MIDI Item. And make sure you highlight the track up here that you want to do that. And that's the drum track. So we're going to insert New MIDI Item up here. And we'll zoom in. Now, if you pull this, you'll see how this kind of repeats. Whatever you put in here is going to repeat. I always right-click on this MIDI highlighted, go to Item Settings, and uncheck Loop Item Source. Now, to start your drums, double-click, and you actually are going to go inside of the track right here. And over here on the left, you are going to hear all of your drum sounds. Now we're going to do something really basic right here. You just kind of scroll through here to find your sound. There's your hi-hat. So we're going to do a little intro here. For some reason, the velocity got really high here. I always leave my velocity at 96. You can change that. We'll talk about that later. Oh, I am on... There we go, there's hi-hat. All right, I'm going to drag my cursor line up here, right-click, and do Split Item at Cursor. That way the 3 hi-hat intro is separate from our starting drum track here. What we're going to do, we're going to double-click on that MIDI section, and we're going to find our kick drum here. And for some reason, that velocity is going to bring that down to 96. There's our snare. add a cymbal right here. And we'll just do the hi-hats for now. Okay, for right now, that seems a little fast. We're going to go up to this highlighted red area, double click. I'm sorry, right click. Edit time signature marker. And right here it says 140. We're going to knock that down to 120. Hit OK. And it just expanded this a little bit. And slowed down your time signature. Made it a little bit slower. So what we got going here is just a very, very, very simple starter beat that you can jam your riff to. And I will show you that we'll start incorporating guitars to this in the next video. We're going to expand a little bit more on the drums here. Again, like I said, I've played real drums before many times. I'm not a drummer, but I know how to play drums. And so drums basically almost always start with the kick drum and then a snare. You add like a cymbal, like, you know, doing like that sort of thing. But now we can do something different. Let's add a kick drum every other, let's see, every other one like this. Actually, I'm sorry. We're going to do it that way. So first one's like, we'll add that one there too. Or you can mix it up. You want to start putting some double bass in here. And we can put a quick kickback here on the second. Oh, not the second. Yeah, kind of the second beat. If you're not a drummer, this may be a lot of trial and error to get a beat to kind of match the guitar. And honestly, I kind of look at all these little drum hits as the note that you're playing on the guitar. You don't have to have the drum beat match, but in a lot of times it really helps and sounds awesome. And again, I will show you. We'll start putting a guitar to this in the next video, just showing you how to kind of throw some drums together here. Again, you can change up some cymbals. But I mean, really, it's that simple. And then you've got your, you go back on the same ones and double click to erase. And then you can kind of like start throwing in, making your own drum rolls. We're going to do some, something like this. Just a simple drum roll. I use that a lot. And I will show you more drum stuff later, but I'm just kind of throwing this together so you guys can kind of, I don't know, have a better understanding of how to use the drum sim on here. So this is just a really quick basic intro. We're going to change this once I actually have a song that we're going to actually record and play with here. But I'm just showing you a quick thing on the drums, and we will go into this in more detail. But this is what we have. And that's it. That's all it looks like right there. Hopefully my my picture isn't ruining that. So, and we did that in a whole 5 minutes or so. And what you can also do is on this track, you can right click, hit copy, and we can go over here. If you just want to copy and paste your beat, We accidentally highlighted the guitar one. You just drag this up with your mouse, and then you have doubled your entire drum beat, which we're not going to do that though. Okay, guys, this is part one. I hope that kind of gave you an idea, just throwing some stuff together. We're going to go into a lot more detail once we start recording, but basically, you're just going to want to pull up Reaper, add your tracks here. You double click to add tracks, add your plugins. I highly recommend going to Audio Assault for some plugins. They are very cheap and best bang for the buck. Auto 11's a little more expensive, but you can get some badass amp sims at Audio Assault, like the base one that I'm using. But like I said, we're going to do everything on here. We're not using any live amps or live drums. We're all going to be using the Sims on here. So just giving you a quick rundown here, guys. I hope this video helped in itself of what I did. If you guys have any questions, leave in the comment section. Next video, we're going to start delving deeper. I'm going to write an actual song. It's going to be a very, very, very basic heavy metal song just to throw together to show you guys how to do this. It's not going to be anything too wild. But then we'll really start matching the guitars and the drums together. So, all right, guys, that's part one. Thanks for watching. Next video, we're gonna get a little bit more crazy. Thanks for watching.